Okay, well, my name is Sue Gerhardt, and my very first flood was the 1943 flood, and I was 7 years old, and at that time I lived in my home was not very far from the river, and I actually slept on a straw mattress. I can remember, and I know that my family was very concerned because they had lots of rain and the high waters were coming up on the levees, and they were afraid of it breaking, but it hadn't broken yet. And at about 2 o'clock in the morning, Mother and Daddy came in and woke me up and said, "We are leaving," that the levees had broken. And I actually remember that day, or that night. And Mother and I guess Rose and I don't remember anybody else but me, we went over to Aunt Rosie's house, which was about 2 miles away.
Okay, my name is Rose Gerhardt Robeson, and I lived in the same house she did. I was four years old, and I don't know whether I made this up, but this has always been in the back of my mind. I remember Mother getting us kids in the car. We had a 38 Chevy, and I was in the back seat standing up, and I was looking out the back window to see if the floodwaters was coming around the corner. I guess I thought it was going to come by the road.
If you know where we live out north of Lake Lawrence, it's called Allison Prairie, and so it's really a flatland. So the water can easily get there. And
so like you said you guys just packed your things and you left. Like, have you guys been preparing for that in advance, or did you even know about how susceptible you guys are to floods?
Well, our father did.
He did.
And they you know what horses are, wood horses. So he put the furniture up on those horses, and he stayed in the house, even though the house had like 4 inches of water in it.
It only got up 8 inches in our house, and we had wooden wall board, and so it just got to the very top.
You mean the baseboard?
The baseboard, yeah, the baseboard.
Inside your house?
Inside the house, And then to get the water out of the house, Daddy drilled holes in the floor. Each one of the rooms has a hole drilled in the wall.
In the floor,
so that the water would go out.
And even after the flood is gone, there was still damage from the water all throughout the house?
After the flood, you know, the floors were buckled, but I mean, she went ahead and sanded them down, but I mean, they're still like that, and the holes are still in the floor. Oh, another thing about the 43 flood, the Rising Sun Church is just a quarter of a mile north of our house. And some of the neighbors didn't have time to get their animals out, and so they took at least 2 horses and put them in the church.
You can talk about, like, what's some more of the damage that you experienced after the flood from the water? Whether it be, like you said, you talked about your house, maybe like financial, or just how it affected you before and after the flood.
Okay, it happened in May. Now, I don't know how many crops were planted, but you know, to get a good crop, you need to plant. Not anymore, they're planting like right now. In fact, there's already corn up. But back then, they didn't really plant till around the 1st of May. So it would have destroyed the crop that was there, and it would be too late to replant the crop after the flood was over. They could probably plant beans, but I mean, that would make a really late crop in the fall. So it is financially devastating too.
And this is Route 33, and it shows how the
it washed the pavement out,
right,
and moved it over.
People that don't experience floods, they think it's just, you know, water. They don't really understand the damage that just a body of water can actually cause to, like you said, your own home.
We was in the boat. We went down to the neighbor's house. After we left, we went over toward the road where there was a fence along that road, and we got stuck on a fence post.
Oh my. Who knew?
So my father made us all get in the back of the boat, so that puts all the weight back there. Of course, we weren't very big then, not like we are now. Anyway, then he reached around and he kept pulling on that post, and he finally got us off. But I mean, that was scary. In 1959, the flood was in February, and my sister and I ice skated on our front yard. The ice froze hard enough that we could ice skate.
ducks.
That's the stuck duck.
No, this is just I'll get the stuck duck.
That's the vehicle that goes on land and water. We're not talking about a real duck.